Hi there, Stephanie here. I have a tutorial for you about the door journals. These chipboards are brand new products that I designed together with Aga Baraniak for ABstudio. Perhaps you have already seen some of the journals and door journals I have hand-carved, and now with these chipboards you can create your own door journals. In this video you will see how to create or assembling the doors, then how to bind the cover, how to paint a cover in a vintage look, a rusty look, and then how to put it all together to a journal. Here I have already started to separate the individual parts and put them together into two different doors, a smaller and a little bigger one. Don't throw away the negatives of the ornaments, you will also use it for the second door journal. I started with the outer border of the larger door, and I always use the larger frames alternately from the outside in for the right larger door and the remaining ones for the smaller door. And as you can see, I use the negative cutouts also for decorating the door. When you are finished designing the doors, you can stick or adhere them on. I use a bookbinding glue because it is relatively viscous, so the chipboards will not wave too much. Nevertheless, they come under heavy books during drying to keep them flat and in shape. To bind the cover, you will now need a thicker cardboard of approximately 2 millimeters and a thinner cardboard of 1 millimeter. The spine of the book should also be 2 millimeters thick. The whole thing is then fixed on the outside with a fabric tape. For this I will use a bookbinding tape. Then you can stick a cheer, the chipboard door, on the front cover. I made a third door with another package to better demonstrate the differences to you, and I will now paint it. I will paint them a little bit different, so the first one will get a white background. This is white acrylic paint. I paint through the spaces with a narrow brush. The second door will get a turquoise background. I use acrylic paint and a bigger brush to apply them on the door and apply the paint on the whole cover. I will apply another coat of acrylic paint on the blue cover, and I'm using the transparent red iron oxide. This is a paint from Golden, and it's a little bit translucent, and it makes a wonderful orange brown tone to make the door rusty. Now I mix the red iron oxide with a turquoise blue, and this is a darker turquoise blue. It's from Amsterdam. I think you can try to create this blue with a turquoise blue and a little bit of black. So that's enough paint for the blue cover, and now I will go back to the cover with a white background, and this door I want to make brown. To create the brown tone, I mix together a blue and a darker red. The paint on the cover is now a darker blue, so I think it needs a little bit of green to make them a little bit more brown. And now I'm adding here and there a little bit of the brown orange, the red iron oxide paint. This gives the door a used look. This makes the door more vintage. Please excuse the poor image quality, video quality. The sun just came out. But you can see that I'm using a brick needle to carve a few symbols into the still red paint, for instance a heart and some scribbles. To fill the journal, I prepared 5 signatures for each journal with 5 to 6 papers in each signature. Then I'm using the fabric tape or the book binding tape to sew the signatures in. For this I'm using a ruler and a pencil to make my marks where to bind the signatures. I prefer 5 holes for each signature, and I use then a template to mark the holes. Now you have the holes in the signature, and now you can bind it into the fabric tape by using a bigger needle, and my yarn is a saddlery yarn as used for horse saddles. This is really strong and thin enough to bind or sew the paper in. And that is now done for every signature. I also decided to add a little detail. I'm creating here a little envelope which I want to put on the front cover of the door. I also prepared a little slot for which I used my carving knife. To glue in the signatures, I first remove the protective film and then I also use bookbinding glue. I'm using my bone folder to press the paper down and to remove all the air bubbles. And now let it dry. Inside it also needs a book and paper, but then you are ready. I decorated the front cover also with little miniature doorknobs. As you can see here, these are miniature doorknobs you can purchase for doll houses. So search on Google and you will find a lot of different things. I hope you give the chipboard doors a try, and thanks for watching, guys. Until the next video. Bye!